Greetings and welcome to the second review in our mid-2019 video review series. Today I'm going to bring you the another skinny cigar, or a cigar that's less than 42 ring gauge, and that's the La Gloria Cubana Medaille number 4. I've gone ahead and lit it. It's 32 ring gauge by 152 millimeters or 6 inches in length. And so far it's just been smoking a dream. Now in regards to dimensions, what I need to tell you about this cigar is that there are very few of these left. What we may term as the long and skinnies. Basically sub 40 ring gauge and over 6 inches. It's just a La Gloria Cubana Medaille number 4 and Porlaranga Monte Carlos left in regular production. Once upon a time there were another type of long and skinny around, the Ninfas, which were 33 ring gauge by 178 millimeters in length, which in imperial system I think is 7 inches. And I remember watching a video with the great Simon Chase. He was lamenting that most of the markers had one of these Ninfas in their range. But sadly the Ninfas all gone. The last two this century that were around were the Punch Ninfas, but they were discontinued in 2002, and the Key d'Orsay Panatellas around 2010. So we got the La Gloria, the LGC, we tend to abbreviate it, Medaille for number 4, and the Porlaranga Monte Carlos. Now, a couple things I need to tell you about this cigar. Smoke it slowly. Main reason, these skinny cigars, you need to avoid them heating up. The flavours can become bitter quite easily if you smoke it too fast, and you're going to lose that textured complexity that you can get out of this cigar, which you just don't want to do. I think you'd want around, if you can, not that you'd aim for it, but you'd want around 70 minutes, I reckon, around 70 minutes to smoke it. Now, as for the flavours that you get out of this cigar, I tend to get an array of flavours, and sometimes one flavour can dominate over another depending on the day or the cigar itself. Tend to get them. The main flavour that I look for would be that lovely fruit or citrus. You can get herbal notes out of them, wood definitely, pepper or spice. They can be quite, if you get like a savoury flavour out of them, you would say it's peppery, or if you get more of a sweet, you can get like a sweet vanilla out of them. That's when you would say that they're spicy. When you age these, they can be like really nice, soft, mellow fruitcake. Really nice cigar. Perfect for your morning cigar with a coffee, in my opinion. I don't have enough of them. Should have them more often, but if you're not inclined to reach for these, do yourself a favour and pick them up, have a go. They ought to be in your rotation. I know Rob and Ken did a recent review, and they basically said the same thing, that it ought to be in your rotation. I completely 100% agree. Um, just a fantastic underrated cigar. I think the Paulaner Monte Carlos is that way too. Although I do think the LGC Medaille Dual Number 4 is definitely more complex in its flavours. So far in this initial third, I certainly have those herbal, slight wood, fruit flavours. They're the main flavours I'm picking out of it. Really, really pleasurable in a cigar, in a Medaille cigar. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video and smoke it down a bit more and come back in the middle third and see how it turns out. I'm into the middle third now, and flavours have stayed much the same. It has picked up a little bit in that sweet spice, but not too much at all. I guess that may be on account of the fact that this cigar is 3.5 years old. I had them rested in my on my humidor for a while, and I've only just had it shipped. And I've had about, I think I've had about 2 or 3. I had maybe this is a 4th one. And I just feel that this is perfect. This is exactly how I want it to be at this stage of its development. One thing I need to forewarn you in regards to these skinny cigars is they can be prone to being a bit tight or plugged. And that's because skinny cigars are they're just harder to roll. On top of that, being sub or under 40 ring gauge, in terms of getting that flavour right. Now this is a point of conjecture on our forum, but I do believe under 40 ring gauge they're going to come with 2 leaf. They're not going to have 2 leaves. They're not going to have that Ligero leaf. It's basically Seco and Mulatto. Now some people disagree with that. It's one of those things where it's not like Cubana say provide that information as to what goes into their blends, what type of leaves, or how much it is. In terms of how many Ligero leaves, is it 1 1/4? Is it 1 Seco? Is it 1 Mulatto leaf? And then they roll it. Not going to hand out that information. So it's one of those things where we know from tradition that these skinny cigars are those 2 leaves, and getting that balance right is really, really important. And they're harder to roll. They're prone to being tight and plugged. So if you have smoked these on a regular basis, you'll know what I'm talking about. The other thing I was going to say is I have had them where they've been you get like a more of a nuttiness to them, slight cream texture to them. But I found them that way when they've had more of a lighter wrapper than this, more of a darker Colorado, more of a lighter Colorado Claro. A little bit more. I mean, there is that slight almond nut. I love it when it's like that. It is there in this cigar at the moment, but I've had it where that's been more of the dominant flavour. It's not so much in this, but I have more of a fruitiness to this, and it's smoked really, really well. You can see the rings. Yeah, it's a fairly well rolled cigar. Very, very happy with this. I've also retrohaled it as I've gone along. Haven't had an issue with rehaling it. If you've watched my videos before, I don't tend to retrohale as a habit. Um, and that may be because I don't enjoy um, the strong spice that you can get out of the retrohale through the nose. But this has none of that. This through the retrohale, it's very mild, very very pleasant. Fantastic. Just look at that. I'm really enjoying the cigar. I'm going to leave it there and come let it smoke down in the final third and give you my final conclusions. Approaching the final third now, and again, like my Sancho Non Plus review, in this second review, I think the flavours have stayed pretty much quite the same. Again, it has got a little bit more intense, but nothing out of the ordinary. Very pleasant to retrohale. Easy to retrohale. One thing I can tell you about the Gloria Cubana Medaille Dual number 4, they haven't been around lately. 2019, first 6 months of the year. If you see them up on 24, do yourself a favour, pick them up. As I said before, this ought to be in your rotation, definitely. If you're a Habanos cigar enthusiast. In terms of value, it's the Puloranga Monte Carlos is more easily to get, and in terms of price, has a better value to it. But despite that, I'd say commit to a box if you haven't done so before. Let them rest a bit. La Gloria Cubana is a marker, one of those markers that really, I think after 3 to 5 years, really starts to sprout in terms of its the flavours meld and that mellowness starts to come out, like in this cigar. Been 3.5 years old, very easy to smoke. I've barely got any strong pepper or spice flavours out of it, and I like it like that. It is a shame, the LGC Medaille Dual number 1 and number 3 no longer with us, and the last one deleted the Dahlia size 43 ring gauge by 170mm, same size as a Cohiba Siglo number 5. Discontinued in 2014. Great cigars and much valued by enthusiasts today. But at least we still have the Medaille Dual number 4 in this market. And we do see it commonly released in regional editions, the LGC marker. But I found that definitely not a market to do it justice. Give it time. If you get a box, give it time. Sure, if you get a box, try one out of the box, 1 or 2 or 3. Begin the first 12 months, see how they go. But they really will reward you if you give it that 3 to 5 years, and even longer, even much longer if you can. Yeah. This is still smoking fantastically in the last third. I envisage I will nub that. Let that be for the time being, because as I said at the beginning of the review, don't want to smoke it too fast, as I'm prone to doing when I enjoy smoke. But anyway, look, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I look forward to seeing you in the next review. Until then, happy smoking.